The battlefield was silent except for the crackle of distant fires. The ground was broken, covered in ash and the twisted remains of machines. The air was heavy with dust, making every breath sting the lungs. Captain Aaron adjusted the weight of his exoskeleton, its joints glowing faintly as the servos strained. His body was exhausted, but he pushed forward, one heavy step at a time. Among the rubble, he saw movement. At first, he thought it was just smoke shifting in the wind. But then he spotted her, a figure lying half buried under broken stone. Her skin was blue, glowing faintly in the dim light. Her eyes opened weakly, filled with pain and fear. She was no human, she was one of them, the enemy. Aaron froze his. Orders were clear, no survivors, especially not alien soldiers. But as he looked closer, he saw the wound across her side, deep and burning. Her lips trembled as she whispered something in her own tongue, then again in broken human speech. "Leave? M.E. Please leave me." Her voice was soft but desperate. She believed he would finish her. He should have walked away. He should have obeyed orders. Yet his hand reached out on its own, pushing the rubble aside, lifting her gently. He felt how fragile she was, so light in his armored arms. Her body shook with every breath. She tried again, her voice sharper, though weak. "No. Don't carry me. I slow you down. You will die if you take me. Go." Her eyes pleaded, not for her own life, but for him to save his. But Aaron tightened his grip, his voice steady. "I will not leave you." The exoskeleton system's word. Recalibrating for the new weight. The suit groaned under the pressure. Warning lights flickered across his visor. He ignored them. He adjusted his stance and began walking, carrying her through the wasteland. Every step was a battle. The ground cracked under his boots. Dust swirled around them. The alien woman shifted weakly in his arms, whispering again. "Why? Why would you do this? I am your enemy. My people kill yours." Aaron's jaw tightened. His reply was simple. "Because you are still alive, and as long as you are alive, you deserve a chance." The words struck her. Her eyes widened slightly. But then she closed them. Her tears mixed with the dust on her face. Behind them, the sound of machines echoed. The enemy patrols were still out there, searching, hunting survivors. If they saw him carrying her, they would not hesitate to fire. Human soldiers would also see him as a traitor if he was caught with her in his arms. He was trapped between two sides, but he kept moving. The sky darkened. Storm clouds rolled across the horizon. Lightning flashed in the distance. Each strike lit the ruins around them like broken skeletons of a dead world. Aaron pushed forward. His muscles ached inside. The exoskeleton, sweat dripping down his back. The woman stirred again, her voice weak but stubborn. "Please, listen. Leave me here. You cannot carry me for long. You will collapse before I do." He shook his head. "Then I will collapse carrying you." Her eyes filled with disbelief. For her, mercy was weakness. In her world, no one carried the wounded this way. Not even their own kind. And yet here was a human, refusing to let her go. The exoskeleton beeped. A warning of overheating. Aaron slowed his pace. He needed rest. He found shelter under the remains of a collapsed wall, lowering himself carefully. She winced as he set her down, but he adjusted her position so she could breathe easier. She looked at him, confusion mixed with frustration. "Why?" she whispered again. "Why risk your life for me? You should hate me. You should want me dead." Aaron met her gaze. His voice was calm, but unshaken. "I do not carry hate, I carry you." For a long moment, neither spoke. Only the sound of distant thunder filled the silence. She turned her face away, unable to understand, yet unable to stop the warmth that grew in her chest. As night fell, Aaron remained awake, watching the horizon for movement, his hands ready on his rifle. The exoskeleton hissed softly with each shift of weight, its power slowly draining. Alien woman drifted in and out of sleep. Every time she opened her eyes, she saw him still there, still holding his ground, still refusing to leave her. She did not know why, but in that moment, she no longer begged him to let her go. The wasteland stretched endless around them, shadows crawling in the dark. Danger waited in every corner, but Captain Aaron had made his choice. He would carry her, no matter the cost. And so began the long journey, 3 days through fire, dust, and endless pursuit. A journey born not of duty, but of a single human's defiance, a choice that would change both their worlds. The sun dipped below the horizon, leaving the wasteland bathed in a strange orange glow. The shattered remains of towers stood like skeletons against the dim light. Captain Aaron adjusted the alien woman in his arms, the exoskeleton groaning. As it carried their combined weight, his muscles ached even though the machine absorbed most of the strain. Sweat dripped down his temple, but he refused to stop. The alien woman stirred weakly. Her blue skin shimmered faintly in the dying light. Her lips moved, whispering words in her own language before she forced them into broken human speech. "You cannot. Keep this pace. Leave me. I slow you. Hunters will smell blood. They will come." Aaron looked down at her, his eyes hardened but calm. "Then let them come. I won't leave you." She turned her face away, anger flickering in her expression. "You are a fool," she muttered. Her voice was weak, but her words carried fire. She had grown up in a world where weakness was despised. To her, mercy was foolishness. Yet here was a human soldier carrying her against all logic. As darkness fell, the wind howled across the broken land, carrying with it sounds both real and imagined. Aaron found the remains of a collapsed building and stepped inside. The roof was broken, half open to the sky, but the walls gave some shelter from the cold night. He lowered her carefully onto a flat piece of stone. Her breathing quickened as he moved her, but he adjusted her position until she lay as comfortably as possible. Aaron scanned the area, his visor lighting faint signals, movement on the edges of his sensors. The enemy was close, too close. He powered down the brighter parts of the exoskeleton to avoid detection. The suit hummed softly, its energy reserves already lower than he wanted. The alien woman shivered. Her wound burned, glowing faintly. She whispered again, "You risk too much. They will find us, and when they do, carrying me will kill you." Aaron crouched beside her, removing a ration pack. He tore it open and held a small piece of dried food to her lips. "Eat," he said simply. She turned her head sharply, refusing. "I do not take charity." His voice was firm, not unkind. "It's not charity, it's survival." He pressed the food closer. "If you die, then carrying you is for nothing. Don't make this harder." For a long moment, she glared at him. Her pride battled against her weakness. Finally, her hunger won. She took the food and chewed slowly, her glowing eyes never leaving his. There was confusion in her gaze, as though she was trying to understand why a human would share his food with an enemy. Outside, the night grew darker. Shadows shifted in the ruins. Strange clicking sounds echoed across the valley. Aaron gripped his rifle tightly, his visor detected faint signatures moving closer. The patrols were sweeping the area, searching for survivors. If they found them, there would be no mercy. The alien woman sensed it too. Her voice was sharp with warning. "They are near. I told you. You should leave me. Alone you might escape. With me you cannot." Aaron shook his head, his voice low but steady. "I already made my choice. I don't abandon those who cannot walk." Her eyes softened for the first time. A flicker of something unfamiliar crossed her face, respect, or perhaps disbelief. The sounds grew louder. Patrol lights scanned the ruins. Aaron held his breath, lowering himself beside her. His exoskeleton dimmed its glow. Blending into the shadows, the patrol passed close, so close that their footsteps echoed inside the broken walls. One wrong sound would expose them. The alien woman's body trembled as she tried not to cough from the pain. Aaron placed his hand gently over her mouth. His eyes locked on hers. Silent but firm, she understood. Her breathing slowed. She closed her eyes and trusted him. Minutes dragged into eternity. Finally, the patrol moved past. their lights vanishing into the distance. The ruins fell quiet again. Aaron exhaled slowly. His grip eased. The woman opened her eyes, her voice a whisper. Why? Why risk your life like this? What are you? Aaron looked at her, his face calm but unreadable. Human, he said simply. And that means I carry you, even when you don't want me to. She stared at him, speechless. Her world had no place for such defiance of logic, yet here he was, rewriting what she thought she knew about enemies. The night stretched on. Aaron sat with his rifle ready, eyes scanning the darkness. The alien woman drifted in and out of uneasy sleep every time. She woke, she found him still there, guarding her, never once turning his back. The stars shimmered above through the broken roof. Cold and distant, the wasteland was full of shadows, but inside those ruins, something had begun to change for the first time. She stopped asking him to leave her. And for the first time, she wondered if perhaps he was not carrying her to save her life alone, but to save something greater, something even she could not yet name. The morning sun rose weakly over the ruins, painting the wasteland in pale gold. Captain Aaron's eyes were heavy from a night without rest. His exoskeleton hummed softly as he shifted, adjusting the weight of the alien woman in his arms. She stirred awake, her breathing shallow, her glowing blue skin pale from pain. For a moment, she said nothing. Her gaze moved from his tired eyes to the broken horizon. Finally, she whispered, "You should not still be here. You could have left in the night." Aaron shook his head, his voice calm but firm. "I told you, I don't leave anyone behind." Her lips trembled, as if she wanted to argue again. But instead she looked away, silent. The wasteland was not silent for long. Aaron's visor beeped faintly. Red signals flashing on the edge of his display. Enemy patrols. Their movements were fast and closing in. He cursed under his breath and adjusted his grip on her. The exoskeleton's servos whirred as he picked up his pace. The alien woman noticed, her voice sharp despite her weakness. "They are hunting us. I told you this would happen. You carry me and it slows you. Alone you could escape." Aaron's jaw tightened. His reply was steady. "Then I will escape while carrying you." She stared at him, disbelief in her glowing eyes. No one in her world would have spoken such words. The patrols drew closer, their scanners sweeping across the ruins. Aaron ducked behind broken walls, his breath steady. His mind calculated each path, each chance. The exoskeleton's power levels dropped with every sprint, but he pushed it harder. Suddenly, a blast tore through the air. A patrol had spotted movement. Energy bolts slammed in the ground nearby, showering them with dust. Aaron tightened his grip on the alien woman and ran. His boots thundered against the rubble. The suit groaned, its servos screaming under the weight. The woman cried out, "Put me down. You cannot fight them like this. Save yourself." Aaron ignored her. Weaving through the ruins, his rifle swung across his back. His only focus was speed, but the enemy was relentless. More blasts rained down, one striking close enough to scorch his arm. He hissed in pain but did not stop. The patrols split, moving to cut him off. Aaron's eyes scanned for a path. He spotted a narrow gap between two collapsed towers. With a burst of strength, he charged forward. The exoskeleton powered his leap, crashing through the gap just as enemy fire lit up the space behind him. The alien woman gasped, her arms weakly clutching his armor. Her voice shook. Why risk everything for me?" Aaron's answer came through gritted teeth. "Because someone has to." They pushed onward. But the exoskeleton began to falter. Warning lights flashed, systems overheated. Aaron slowed for only a moment. But the enemy was gaining. He ducked into a ravine, its jagged rocks casting deep shadows. The woman's eyes flicked around, her voice urgent. "They will not stop. They will chase us until you fall. You cannot carry me forever." Aaron crouched, catching his breath. His visor mapped their pursuers. He knew she was right, but surrender was never an option. He met her gaze. "Then I will carry you until my legs break. That's the choice I made." Her expression softened for a brief second. She had been raised to see humans as ruthless. Yet this man defied every belief. He was carrying her not for gain, not for victory, but for something she had no word for. The sound of enemy voices echoed through the ravine. Aaron pressed his back against the stone, holding her close. The patrol passed above them. Shadows moving across the rocks, his breath slowed, steady as stone. The woman felt his heart pounding beneath the exoskeleton, steady, unshaken. When the patrol moved on, he shifted. Climbing carefully along the ravine, every movement strained the suit. Every step burned his muscles. Yet he did not falter. By midday, the sun burned hot overhead. The wasteland stretched endless. Aaron's body screamed for rest. The exoskeleton's warnings grew louder, his vision blurred, but he kept going. The woman watched him, her lips parting as if to speak. Yet no words came. At last they reached a hollow beneath a shattered arch of stone. Aaron lowered her gently to the ground. His breath came heavy. The suit hissed as its systems cooled. She reached out weakly, her hand brushing his arm, her voice barely a whisper. "Why do you fight so hard for me?" Aaron looked at her, sweat streaking his face. His eyes burned with quiet fire. "Because giving up is easy, carrying you is hard. And the hard path is the only one worth taking." Her glowing eyes widened. Her world had never spoken of such things. She had begged him to leave her, demanded it. But now for the first time, a strange thought stirred inside her. Maybe she wanted him to keep carrying her. Far away, enemy patrols regrouped, their trackers resetting. The hunt was not over. It was only beginning. But in the hollow of broken stone, something stronger than fear had begun to grow. The pursuit had started, and neither of them could turn back. The sun had begun to sink again, casting long shadows across the wasteland. Captain Aaron's steps grew slower, each one heavier than the last. The exoskeleton groaned with every movement. Sparks flickering along the joints. Warnings flashed across his visor. Red lights demanding shutdown. But he pushed forward, the alien woman still in his arms. Her glowing blue eyes studied him as he staggered. His lips were dry, sweat rolling down his face. His armor was scratched and dented. Yet he held her close as if she weighed nothing. Her voice was soft but sharp with worry. "You cannot keep this up. The machine is failing. And so are you. Put me down. I will not let you destroy yourself." Aaron shook his head, his breathing ragged but steady. "I told you, I will not leave you. Not now. Not ever." The woman clenched her jaw, frustration building inside her. No one from her kind would have carried her this far. They would have abandoned her as soon as she slowed them down. Yet this human, this stubborn soldier, refused to surrender. The ground trembled beneath them as distant patrols closed in. Their scanners hung faintly in the air. Aaron adjusted his grip and pushed harder. His muscles screamed in protest. The exoskeleton beeped louder, sparks dancing at his knees. Each warning was a reminder that collapse was near. At last, his legs buckled. He dropped to one knee. The alien woman gasping as she nearly slipped from his hold. He caught her quickly, his arms trembling. The machine hissed, its servos straining. "Come on," he muttered under his breath. "Not yet, not now." The woman stared at him, her voice breaking. Why do you fight so hard for me? I am your enemy. My people are sworn against yours. Why risk your life like this?" Aaron looked at her, his face pale but his eyes burning with resolve. "Because you asked me to leave you, and I refused. That means I will carry you until I cannot take another step. That is what it means to be human." Her breath caught in her throat. She had heard humans were brutal, merciless. Yet this one was showing her a strength she had never known, a strength not of cruelty, but of compassion. Aaron forced himself to stand again. His vision blurred, his heartbeat pounded in his ears. The exoskeleton's joints sparked, smoke curling from the edges. Still, he moved forward, step by step, refusing to stop. As night fell, he stumbled into the ruins of an ancient structure. Half buried in sand, he set her down gently against a broken wall. Collapsing to one knee beside her, his hands shook as he removed his helmet. His face was lined with exhaustion, yet his eyes still carried fire. The woman looked at him, her voice trembling. "You will die if you keep this up. Even now your machine fails, your body fails. Why will you not let me go?" Aaron smiled faintly. "Tired but unyielding. Because you are alive, and as long as you breathe, I will carry you." She turned her face away, but her eyes shimmered. She had begged him to abandon her countless times, yet each step he took proved he would not. Deep inside, something shifted in her heart. She no longer saw him as an enemy, she saw him as something more, something rare. The silence of the ruins was broken by faint sounds. Distant patrols again. Aaron's visor flickered weakly, unable to give full readings. His suit was nearly dead. His body was nearly broken. Yet when the alien woman tried to sit up, whispering that she would walk, he pressed her back gently, shaking his head. "Rest. Save your strength. I will move when I can." She stared at him, stunned. No one had ever treated her life as valuable, not even her own kind. She whispered softly, almost to herself, "You are not like us. You are something different." Aaron leaned back against the wall, his chest rising and falling heavily. He closed his eyes only for a moment, but his hand never let go of his rifle. Even near collapse, he stayed ready to fight if needed. The alien woman looked at him in the dim starlight, her voice quiet, almost tender. "3 days, you said. You cannot survive 3 days like this." Aaron opened his eyes, his voice steady despite his exhaustion. "Then I will survive 3 days anyway. That is the promise I made." Her lips trembled. For the first time she did not argue. For the first time she wished for him to succeed. The ruins grew silent again, shadows stretching across the broken walls. The exoskeleton hissed faintly, its power nearly gone. Aaron's body leaned heavy against the stone, his arms still ready to lift her when the time came. The breaking point had come, but he had not broken, not yet, and in his defiance, he showed her what it truly meant to be human.